All right, let's move on to our next news topic. And this is one that I think a lot of fans have been clamoring and wanting. Me personally, I'm a very mixed bag about it, but it sounds like that Jamie Little could potentially losing a couple of races as the lead play-by-play announcer for the Craftsman Truck Series on Fox and Fox Sports 1. Brent Stover, who worked for CBS for a number of years and I think has been working with Flow Racing and Fox a little bit over the last year or two. And then Eric Brennan has been a big part of Flow Racing over the last couple of years. I think he announced a couple of ARCA races last year on Fox Sports 1, and he's very good. I don't really know much about Brent Stover, but Eric Brennan, he has a bright future, I'd say. I think Eric Brennan's going to be commentating the O'Reilly or the Cup Series here in a couple of years. I think that highly of Eric Brennan. I think he's a great commentator. But the reason I'm mixed about this is because first of all, Jamie Little's been a big part of our sport for such a long time. She was such a great pit road reporter, and she has struggled mightily in the booth, I would say. But at the same time, I have seen improvements. I have seen her improve over time. It's just how long do you give somebody to get to the top of their game? Because she's definitely not even close to the top of her game in the broadcast booth, I would say. Cory, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about Jamie Little? And we don't know for sure. This is just the way the report was laid out. It seems like Jamie Little will be losing some races as the lead play-by-play commentator. I do want to make that clear. That hasn't been officially announced, but that's what it seems like with everything that we've seen. But Cory, how do you feel about this?
Man, I don't know how to feel about it. I think as NASCAR fans, we all like Jamie Little,
Oh, for
like
sure.
especially like pit road reporting and all that stuff. And so we want her in the sport. It's good to have her in the sport, but I agree with what you said. Like, it's kind of rough on those truck races. Just it's a bad listening experience. You have a bunch of, you could make a highlight video of how many bad calls there are on the final lap
Oh, for
and
sure.
going to the checkered flag, and you're just like, that's really like the actual like live audio, you know? So on there, I see the reasoning for it. It sucks in a way, but I get it. I'm for it as a fan, but as a NASCAR fan of that's been a fan of the sport for a while, it sucks to see it not work out. I mean, obviously she didn't lose her job the entire time. But I'm just saying, hopefully she figures it out, like you said, because NASCAR fans want her in the sport.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jamie Little. I would say, other than Dick Berggren, because Dick Berggren was a fantastic pit road reporter for a number of years for the Cup Series on Fox. Other than him, I would say Jamie Little is probably the best pit road reporter we've had this century. Like, she's amazing as a pit road reporter. She is completely fantastic on pit road, but in the booth, she's struggled, Tyler. It's just been a real struggle for Little in the booth.
It absolutely has been a struggle for her, but to me, I don't think it mattered. I mean, all us race fans kind of looked over that because, like you said, we absolutely
We
loved her on
love
pit
her.
road.
Yeah.
Love her. I mean, there's not a race fan you talk to that doesn't love Jamie Little. So I mean, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's a little rough up there. It's a little rough, but you could tell she's uncomfortable. Like, I don't know, maybe put her back where she belongs, like, and pay her more for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's bad to say, but she did great on pit road. There was nobody more you wanted interviewing on victory lane than Jamie Little. Like, she knew what questions to ask those guys when they got out of the car, how to bring the emotion out, like all of that. So I don't know. Maybe the booth's not her strong suit. Maybe she's like Jeff Gordon. Go do something
Yep.
better that you can do.
Yeah, I feel like everybody just kind of has to figure out what their role is, especially in TV. It's very difficult. Like, I'll use an example here is JJ Watt. I think JJ Watt was an okay analyst, not bad. He was pretty good, but in the booth, I think JJ Watt's fantastic. I think JJ Watt is fantastic for CBS, for the NFL. But as an analyst, he's okay. He's not bad. He definitely doesn't stand out, but he's a great commentator and he has very low experience. And Jeff Gordon's another example too. Jeff Gordon sucked in the booth. I'm not to be honest. Jeff Gordon was ass. He was not good in the booth, but that's not his role. And he figured out very quickly that wasn't his role to be in the booth. He quickly figured out that he has to be on the business side, the ownership side of things, and now he's lined up to be the next owner of Hendrick Motorsports whenever Rick decides to hand it down to him. So you just really have to figure out your role. And am I willing to give Jamie Little another chance this season? Yeah, I am. I'm willing to continue to give her another chance because I love Jamie Little and she's been fantastic for the sport. And it seems like that's something that she personally really wants to do. It seems like she wants to be in the booth. But if she can't figure it out this year and continue to improve, I think you got to pull the plug on it. I hate to say that, and I would hate to lose because that's one of the things I'm worried about too. Is if Fox go to Jamie and like, hey, we don't really want you in the booth anymore. We want you to do pit road stuff. Then she's gonna be like, well, fuck you. I don't need to do that. I can go do something else somewhere else. I'll go back to doing the X Games. What's up, Tom?
Sorry to cut you off, but could you imagine her joining the Amazon team? That would be so cool.
Oh yeah,
she'd do so good with the Amazon team, dude.
That'd be elite. That would be elite.
That right there is where if Fox fumbles this, Amazon picks her up. Like, there's no way they don't.
Yeah, somebody's gonna pick her up if something happens for sure. And don't feel bad about interrupting me whenever you want to jump in, just jump in. But yeah, Jamie Little, she's a talent. She's a talent. Like I was trying to say before, she used to work in the X Games and was a big part of the X Games team for a while because she was actually in the X Games, competed in the X Games, and then later moved on to commentating and being part of the X Games. So I could very well see her going to ESPN, doing something like that. Who knows? But personally, I would love for her to stay with NASCAR on Fox, doing whatever. I just would like to see her improve in the booth. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about Jamie Little potentially losing races in the booth? How do you feel about Eric Brennan and Brent Stover, if you know who those two guys are? I don't know much about Brent Stover, but I think Eric Brennan has a very bright future in commentating with NASCAR. Let me know your thoughts about all of that in the comments.